Have you ever been kind to someone, only to have them turn away or treat you with disdain? It's confusing, right? You show kindness, you offer help, yet they still hate you, or at best, completely ignore your efforts. It can feel like you're giving your all, but somehow, it's never enough. Why does this happen? The truth is, people's reactions aren't always about you. They often reflect their own inner struggles. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control how others feel about us, but we can control our response to their behavior. When you're met with hatred despite your kindness, it's not a reflection of your worth, but a glimpse into their own fears and insecurities. In this video, we'll explore why this happens, how to handle it, and most importantly, how to protect your peace. If you're tired of letting others' negativity disturb your calm, stay with me, because Stoicism has the answer. This intro aims to emotionally connect with the audience, acknowledge their struggles, and promise an insightful solution rooted in Stoic philosophy. 1. Understanding human nature through Stoicism. Have you ever felt frustrated when you treated someone with kindness, only for them to turn away or even treat you with disdain? It's confusing, especially when you've done nothing but try to show goodwill. You begin to question your own behavior, wondering why your kindness wasn't returned, or worse, why it was met with hostility. The truth is, this kind of reaction isn't always about you. More often than not, it's a reflection of the other person's inner struggles, insecurities, or fears. Stoicism teaches us that human nature is complex and that we cannot control how others feel about us. What we can control, however, is how we respond to their behavior. Stoics understood that the way people react to us is often a mirror of their own emotional state, not a reflection of our actions or worth. When people react negatively, it's usually because of their own unresolved issues. Their anger, jealousy, or resentment is not about us. It's about what they are carrying within themselves. Think about the last time someone reacted negatively to your kindness. Maybe they were distant, dismissive, or downright rude, despite your best efforts to be generous and considerate. It stings, doesn't it? But here's where Stoicism offers wisdom. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. The Stoics knew that we can't control others' actions, but we can control how we choose to interpret and respond to them. Often, people's negative reactions come from a place of personal insecurity or fear. When you show kindness, it can inadvertently highlight something they are struggling with internally. For instance, someone might feel threatened by your positivity because they're dealing with their own feelings of inadequacy. It's not about you being kind. It's about how your actions make them feel about themselves. This is something Stoics understood deeply. They realized that others' feelings are shaped by their internal battles, not by our behavior. Imagine a scenario where someone is drowning and reaches out to grab you in desperation. In doing so, they might unintentionally hurt you because they are overwhelmed by fear and panic. The same can happen when people react negatively to your kindness. They are not necessarily reacting to you as a person, but to their own fears, insecurities, or past wounds. Their negative response is a reflection of their internal struggles, not a reflection of your kindness. The Stoics teach us that we must not internalize these negative reactions. Instead, we should recognize that these behaviors are projections of others' struggles, not an accurate reflection of our own worth. When someone lashes out, it's easy to feel hurt and question your own actions, but it's important to remind yourself that their reaction is about them, not about you. You're not responsible for their emotional state. The obstacle in the path becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. When you encounter negativity, the Stoic response is not to meet it with more negativity, but to remain grounded in your own peace. The key to this understanding lies in the Stoic practice of detachment. Stoicism encourages us to distance ourselves from the judgments of others. Instead of letting someone else's opinion shape our self-worth, we focus on cultivating our own inner strength and virtue. By doing this, we stop seeking validation from others and begin to find peace within ourselves. It's a practice of emotional resilience, of choosing how we respond rather than being at the mercy of others' reactions. In your daily life, this means not reacting impulsively to negative feedback or unfair treatment. It's about pausing before responding. Ask yourself, is this reaction within my control? Can I change how this person feels about me? The answer is usually no. People's reactions are shaped by their internal world, which you cannot control. But you can control how you choose to respond. In this way, you can protect your peace and avoid internalizing other people's emotional baggage. By applying Stoic wisdom, we can learn to rise above the negativity of others and focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions. This doesn't mean we stop being kind or compassionate. On the contrary, Stoics believed in practicing virtue and kindness as a reflection of our own values, not as a means of gaining approval. It's about doing what is right, regardless of how others react. 2. The role of expectations in human interactions. When we approach relationships and interactions, it's easy to fall into the trap of expecting something in return for our kindness. We may think, if I'm kind to others, they'll appreciate it and treat me the same way. And for a while, this can seem to be true. But what happens when the kindness you extend is met with indifference, disrespect, or even resentment? It stings, right? This is where expectations become dangerous. We set ourselves up for disappointment because we're projecting our hopes onto other people rather than accepting them as they are. Stoicism teaches us that this is a dangerous game to play. Expectations are the root of disappointment. We expect others to react in a certain way, but in reality, we cannot control how others will feel or behave. The only thing we can control is how we choose to respond to their behavior. Think about it. How often have you found yourself upset because someone didn't react the way you anticipated? Perhaps you did something nice for them, only to have them ignore or criticize you. This feeling of being let down is the result of an expectation we've created in our minds, not necessarily what was ever promised or agreed upon. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. When we allow our minds to create expectations about others, we're setting ourselves up for emotional turmoil when they fail to meet them. The reality is, people's reactions to us are often shaped by their own experiences, biases, and emotional states. Even if you are kind, someone might still react negatively because they have different needs or expectations. This doesn't mean your kindness wasn't genuine or that you failed in some way. It simply means that their emotional world isn't aligned with yours. They may have their own struggles, fears, or insecurities that color their perception of your actions. And when we expect them to act in line with our expectations, we are allowing their unresolved issues to determine our emotional well-being. Don't expect anything from anyone. Instead, focus on your own actions, your own virtues, and your own strength. Epictetus. The Stoic wisdom here is powerful. It teaches us to release the need for others to meet our expectations. By doing so, we free ourselves from unnecessary disappointment and frustration. When we focus on our own virtues, on acting with integrity, kindness, and respect, we no longer need to look for validation in return. We can give without expecting, act without demanding, and love without needing reciprocation. This is what it means to live authentically, in alignment with Stoic principles. Let's take a moment to consider this. If you give without the need for anything in return, you're practicing true freedom. The Stoics understood that freedom comes not from having others meet our needs, but from not being dependent on them for our happiness. Freedom is the only thing worth having. Seneca. This doesn't mean we stop caring for others or stop being kind. It simply means we stop expecting them to give us what we think we deserve in return. Instead, we focus on our own actions and responses. So, how do we apply this to our lives? First, we need to stop projecting our desires onto others. Rather than expecting kindness or respect in return, let's focus on being kind and respectful because it aligns with who we are. By releasing these expectations, we can learn to give without resentment. Think about how much lighter you will feel when you no longer have to wait for validation or recognition from others. Your actions will be about your own growth, not about manipulating someone's response. But here's the challenge. When you stop expecting, you open yourself to a different kind of vulnerability. The vulnerability of accepting people as they are, with all their flaws, biases, and baggage. You won't always get the response you hope for. In fact, sometimes you might face rejection or hostility. But the beauty of Stoicism is that you will no longer let their behavior dictate your emotional state. You'll remain grounded in your own principles. If someone does you wrong, remember it's not your responsibility to change them. You can control how you react, not how they behave. Epictetus. In relationships, both personal and professional, we must practice releasing our expectations. The more we focus on ourselves, our actions, our growth, our integrity, the less we rely on others to complete us. We become the masters of our own happiness, free from the emotional burden of unmet expectations. So, the next time you find yourself disappointed by someone's lack of appreciation or reciprocation, take a deep breath. Reframe the situation. Remind yourself that their response is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a reflection of where they are in their own journey. Your job is not to make them respond the way you expect. Your job is to stay true to your own values, no matter what others do. 3. Why people feel threatened by your kindness. Have you ever wondered why some people seem uncomfortable or even hostile when you show them kindness? It's a hard thing to understand, especially when all you want to do is help. But the truth is, your kindness can sometimes make others feel threatened, not because you're doing something wrong, but because it highlights something deep within them they may not be ready to face. The Stoics understood the complexity of human emotions and how they are often driven by our inner fears and insecurities. When you show someone kindness, you are offering something they might feel they can't reciprocate, or worse, something they feel they don't deserve. It's not uncommon for people to react negatively to your kindness because it forces them to confront their own weaknesses, fears, or unresolved issues. Think about it. When someone is struggling with their own sense of self-worth or dealing with feelings of inadequacy, your kindness can serve as a mirror that reflects what they lack. Instead of being grateful or welcoming, they may react defensively, pushing you away or even resenting you for it. The reason isn't because you're unkind, it's because they are wrestling with their own internal battles. The best way to be kind to someone is to not expect anything in return, but sometimes kindness itself can make others feel threatened. This is where Stoic wisdom can truly transform the way we understand relationships. Stoics teach us that we cannot control the reactions of others, nor should we seek to. Instead, we focus on our own behavior, on how we show up in the world, regardless of how others respond. The Stoic approach is to recognize that people's reactions are not a reflection of our worth, but a reflection of their own emotional state. For example, if someone is feeling insecure or inadequate, they may see your success, your generosity, or your joy as a threat to their own sense of worth. Instead of being happy for you, they might react with jealousy, resentment, or anger. This kind of reaction is rooted in their own fears, not in anything you've done wrong. Your kindness may remind them of what they feel they lack, and that can be uncomfortable for them. People often feel threatened by others not because of what they have, but because of what they believe they cannot achieve. The Stoics remind us that our job is not to make others comfortable with who we are or how we live, but to live according to our own values and principles. When we try to make everyone feel good about themselves through our kindness, we set ourselves up for disappointment. You cannot control how others perceive you, and you certainly cannot control how they feel about your success or your goodness. The only thing you can control is how you show up in the world. If you find that your kindness is met with resistance or discomfort, remember that it's not about you, it's about them. People who react negatively are often projecting their own feelings of inadequacy, and while their reaction may hurt, it's not a reflection of your value as a person. It's a reflection of their internal struggles. Don't take it personally when someone reacts negatively to your kindness. Their discomfort comes from their own fears, not from anything you've done. So, what can we do in these situations? The Stoics would advise us to continue to practice kindness, but without attaching any expectations or relying on others to validate our behavior. We must remember that their response is not about us, it's about them. And when we understand this, we can let go of the need for external approval and simply focus on living according to our own virtues. 4. Maintaining inner peace, despite negative reactions. When people react negatively toward your kindness, it's easy to feel frustrated or even defeated. You might ask yourself, why bother being kind if it's just going to be met with resentment or indifference? But this is where the true power of Stoicism lies. It teaches us to protect our inner peace, no matter how others behave. Stoicism offers us a fundamental truth. We cannot control how others act, but we can control how we respond to them. Their reactions, whether positive or negative, are not a reflection of our worth or our actions. They are a reflection of their own experiences, emotions, and struggles. The key is to learn to accept this truth so that we can remain anchored in our own sense of self, regardless of how others treat us. Think about a time when someone treated you unfairly, or when your kindness was met with hostility. The natural instinct might be to react, perhaps with anger, frustration, or even defensiveness. But what would happen if, instead of reacting, you paused? What if you took a step back and asked yourself, is this reaction within my control? The answer in most cases will be no. You cannot control their thoughts, emotions, or behavior, but you can control how you choose to react. I'm not disturbed by things, but by the view I take of them. Epictetus. This is a powerful Stoic lesson. It's not the external events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. When we learn to detach our emotions from the actions of others, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Negative reactions, whether from strangers, friends, or family, can only disturb us if we let them. And when we stop letting them, we reclaim our peace. In a world where everything feels urgent, where people are constantly seeking validation, it can feel impossible to maintain peace in the face of negative feedback. We live in a society that often encourages us to react, to defend ourselves, to prove our worth. But the Stoic path teaches us that true strength lies in restraint, in the ability to pause and observe before we act. Instead of responding impulsively, we can choose to take a deep breath and center ourselves. Here's the thing. Negative reactions from others are often more about them than about us. When someone lashes out or ignores our kindness, it's usually because of their own pain, insecurities, or frustrations. They might feel threatened, unworthy, or overwhelmed by their own emotions. Your actions are not the cause of their pain. They are merely the trigger for it. The Stoics understood that when we stop internalizing these reactions, we stop giving others the power to control our emotional state. So, how do we maintain peace despite negative reactions? The first step is to practice detachment. When you feel the urge to defend yourself or retaliate, pause. Ask yourself, is this reaction something I can control? If not, let it go. Refuse to let their negativity disrupt your sense of self. Instead, focus on your own actions, your own virtues, and your own growth. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Epictetus. The Stoics remind us that peace comes from within. We cannot rely on the external world to bring us calm. We must cultivate it within ourselves. When you act according to your principles, regardless of how others react, you will find that your peace grows stronger. You'll no longer be at the mercy of external circumstances or other people's behavior. You'll be in control of your own emotional landscape. In these moments, it's also helpful to remember that people's negative reactions often say more about them than about you. They might be struggling with their own internal battles, projecting their own fears or frustrations onto you. Recognizing this can help you respond with compassion rather than resentment. You don't have to take it personally, because it's not about you, it's about where they are on their own journey. By applying Stoic principles, you can train yourself to maintain inner peace, even in the most challenging situations. The key is to remember that your peace is yours to protect. You are the one who chooses how to react, and you have the power to rise above the negativity of others. 5. Facing hatred. Like a Stoic. When you've been kind, when you've given your best, and still you face hatred or disdain from others, it can feel like a personal betrayal. It's tempting to internalize this negativity, to let it define your worth, or to believe that it reflects something wrong with you. But this is where Stoicism offers us profound wisdom. How we respond to hatred is what shapes our inner peace, not the hatred itself. When you are insulted, remember that it is not the insult itself that hurts you, but how you choose to react to it. Epictetus. This core Stoic teaching shifts the power back to us. While we cannot control how others treat us, we can control how we process and respond to their behavior. In the face of hatred, the Stoic response is not to retaliate with more hatred, nor to shrink or internalize the negativity. Instead, the Stoic response is to meet hatred with calmness, with clarity, and with the strength to stay grounded in our own virtue. Think about a time when someone treated you with hostility despite your kindness. It's easy to become defensive, to want to justify yourself, or to argue back. You might feel that you need to fight for your dignity. But here's the thing. Responding in kind only feeds the cycle of negativity. It's like throwing fuel on the fire. It escalates the situation, leaving you feeling drained and emotionally exhausted. The Stoic way is different. Instead of reacting, Stoics teach us to pause, to observe, and to respond deliberately. When faced with hatred or disrespect, we do not let it shake our inner peace. We do not allow another person's emotions to dictate our own. We remain steadfast in our values and remember that their hatred is a reflection of their own struggles, not a reflection of our worth. What is it to be hated? To be disliked by someone is often nothing more than an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius. In moments of conflict, we must remind ourselves that the hatred we face is not about us. It's about them. It's about their unresolved pain, their fears, their insecurities. People who lash out or treat others with disrespect are often struggling with their own issues, and their anger or hatred is an expression of that inner turmoil. Recognizing this helps us detach from the situation emotionally and respond with compassion rather than defensiveness. Imagine that you are walking through a storm. The winds are fierce, the rain is heavy, and you can't avoid the elements. But what you can control is how you hold your ground, how you navigate through the storm. The same is true when facing hatred. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to remain steady, to not be swept away by the emotions of others. Stoicism teaches us that no matter how much hate, criticism, or negativity we face, we always have the power to choose our response. We can choose to maintain our integrity and remain true to our values. When we face hatred, we don't need to engage in battle or seek revenge. Instead, we need to stay calm, composed, and focused on what is in our control, our own actions and reactions. The best way to rise above hatred is to live with virtue. When we act in alignment with our values, we become unshakable. Seneca, when hatred arises, it's often an opportunity to practice Stoic virtues like patience, wisdom, and courage. The Stoic approach is not to shy away from conflict or try to avoid the discomfort of negative emotions. It's about embracing the challenge with grace, seeing it as a chance to grow stronger. It's in these moments of difficulty that we build resilience, not by avoiding the storm, but by facing it head-on with composure and integrity. So, the next time you face hatred or hostility, remind yourself of the Stoic truth. Their reaction is about them, not you. You are not responsible for their emotions, only your own. You have the power to choose your response. By staying calm and centered, you protect your peace, and in doing so, you grow stronger. As we've explored today, no matter how kind you are, there will always be people who respond with hatred or negativity. But this isn't a reflection of you. It's a reflection of their own inner struggles, insecurities, and fears. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control how others react, but we have full control over how we choose to respond. When faced with hatred or disrespect, remember to pause and reflect. Their reactions are not your responsibility. You control your own emotions, your own response. By embracing Stoic principles, you can maintain your peace and stay true to your values, regardless of how others treat you. This is the real power you have. The power to remain calm, composed, and focused on your own growth, no matter the external circumstances. I encourage you to practice this mindset in your daily life. The next time someone treats you unfairly or negatively, take a moment to pause, breathe, and respond with wisdom. Let go of the need for external validation, and instead, find peace in your own integrity. Thank you for watching and joining me in this journey toward greater self-mastery. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue to explore more Stoic wisdom to help you live a stronger, more peaceful life.